You're listening to Leisure World Direct. I'm your host, GRF Communications Manager Emma DiMaggio, and I'm joined by Security Services Director Victor Rocha and Executive Manager of Mutual Services Dave Potter. Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
Today we'll be going over a 5-year study of traffic incidents that you conducted, Victor.
Yes.
Tell me about that study.
Well, we conducted that a full 5-year review of all traffic-related incidents within the community to try to understand traffic patterns, causes, and opportunities for prevention.
What was considered traffic related in the study? Is this bicycles or just vehicles?
This is everything. Anything motorized, from bicycles to vehicles, motor vehicles to golf carts. Everything was thrown in the mix in this 5-year study.
What were your findings?
Well, surprisingly, a majority of our incidents were low-speed collisions. Most people think when we have collisions, they're a high speed or going through intersections and things like that, and they are not. A significant percentage, if this can be, this was quite surprising that 48%, nearly half of all our traffic accidents occurred with a moving vehicle striking a parked vehicle.
Interesting. That kind of goes against, I think that some people have an assumption in Leisure World that a lot of the incidents are happening because of running a stop sign or going over the community's posted 25 mile per hour speed limit. This kind of goes in the face of that.
Correct. Absolutely.
What do you think is causing those incidents from your investigations?
Well, we started looking into it, and we also asked the police department to give us their insight into why we would have so many, like I said, literally half. And they noted that we have tight parking areas and carports here, and also it reduces the visibility when you're backing and turning, and also the driver issues. We have driver reaction time, depth perception issues, and sometimes people just underestimate the low speed risk. I'm going slow, so it must be safe. And it's not always the case.
When you say low reaction times, you're referring to age-related declines that people might not notice because they happen slowly?
Correct. In fact, if you go on the Senior AAA website and the AARP website, they will it clearly states when someone finally decides to give up their driver's license, they actually lost their ability to drive 6 to 8 years before that.
Wow.
So it's quite a startling statistic.
Is there any indication from your research of who is participating in these incidents? Is it mainly residents who are involved, or contractors or guests?
Well, it's everything. Residents, guests, and contractors were all involved in accidents. However, residents were more likely to be involved because they drive within the community the most. Therefore, they were the majority of the accidents.
I see in the data that you found there are a lot of hit and runs. What do you think motivates someone to hit a car and kind of leave before someone's arrived to take an incident report?
Yes, that was very interesting. We had nearly 2 out of 10, 18% of the people that get into accidents do not stop. They keep on driving, and I think there's a number of reasons for that that go along with that. It could be fear, panic, financial concern. All these things run through a person's mind instantaneously, and sometimes that should I stay or should I go, that the go's a little bit stronger, and then they flee the scene.
Yeah. I'm sure that some people also have fear that other than the financial concern, if they are found out by maybe a child or grandchild who's been telling them to stop driving, it could be the triggering event for that person. commandeering their keys.
Absolutely, but it's important to note that leaving the scene is never appropriate, and it can carry significant consequences, especially if somebody was inside that parked car and possibly was injured.
Yeah.
So,
We should note that there are a lot of cameras in the community now. Do you use the cameras at all in your investigations?
the police department will ask for just to know what we do when there's a traffic accident. We do go out and we get all the information from the parties. However, we do not assign fault. That is up to the police department and for the insurance departments to slug out. So they take care of that part. So we get the basic information. We pass it on to the police department. Many times the police department are already here, or they're already on the way investigating it, and then they take it from there. So we get basic information to provide, and then it's taken over.
Would you advise that residents who are in a major or minor collision call security first or call 911?
Always call 911. The police will never say, "Why did you call us?" Call them up, get them over here. If it's minor, then they'll tell you it's minor, just exchange information and go from there. But there could be a lot of other issues besides that, and it's best to have the police there. And then after you hang up with them, definitely call the security department so we can come down.
Going back to what you said about people losing the ability to drive, I think it can be difficult for people to identify when they're driving unsafely, since it's such a slow transition for many people. What guidance do you have for people to evaluate for themselves whether they should stop driving?
And people have to be honest with themselves. They know when they have close calls and difficulty parking. They know when their reaction time is slower. And also, people, like you brought up family members. Family members themselves will bring up, "I think it's time," or "You're having issues," but those get discounted. And I understand it. Independence is very, very important, but independence does not trump safety.
I also think this is a good place to note that there are a lot of public transportation options available to residents. I think a lot of people get very scared of being stuck in their homes or not able to get to doctor's appointments anymore, places that they do need to be. And we do have an internal bus system in Leisure World that's point to point. You just call it and it'll take you anywhere within the walls and the Seal Beach Shopping Center. And there are monthly bus information sessions held by the GRF Transportation Department that go over the Seal Beach Senior Shuttle, Orange County Transit Authority buses, and they can kind of help you get your sea legs when it comes to taking the bus and getting around.
Absolutely.
What advice do you have for people who witness a traffic collision? Should they call 911?
Yes, and also give us a call also. Everybody, when something happens, everybody figures, you know what, somebody else is going to call, I don't have to call, and then nobody calls. We'd rather be hit with numerous calls and let somebody know, yes, we've got it, we're on the way. And same with 911. They'll be happy to go, yes, we've got it. Then nobody call, because a lot of people just go, no, I'm not going to call, or they're afraid to get roped into the investigation. It's important to let us know what's going on.
Dave, there's another dimension to this besides safety, and that potentially financial. Are there insurance implications for having lots of residents or some residents who are driving around that maybe shouldn't, or having a high incident rate within the community?
From an insurance standpoint, I think the only impact that would really come on to GRF most directly is for the passengers that are in our bus system. That's something that I know that the underwriters are interested in. Accidents that happen on the road, accidents are going to happen on the road whether you're a senior community or a regular community. There's always going to be a bit of exposure there as well, but there's not much to do about that except to continue to do what Victor and GRF are doing here, which is preach about the responsibility of driving that we all have, whether we're here in Leisure World Seal Beach or out on a public street.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Victor?
No, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come down and pass all this information on. It was information that the board and the mutuals were asking for, and it took some time to put it together, but it was definitely all worth it.
This has been Leisure World Direct.